Alrighty. I am in studio with our next guest today. We are throwing the light on local Babes PE content creator and social media specialist, Sheldon Zam. Welcome, Sheldon. Thank you for joining me in studio today, man.
Hey, thank you, Ross. That is actually a lovely intro, to the point. And I'm so excited to be here with a fellow Kebanar, a Bayanar. Yeah, guys, we're out here. We're going to be talking about the things content creation, influencer campaigns, and the journey that it's been since I left PE pretty much.
Yeah. Excited to hear. I do feel as though my introduction did not quite do it justice. Would you care to properly introduce yourself and just explain what exactly it is that you do as a content creator, social media specialist, or marketer? How would we better define what it is that you do and actually hold a passion for?
Cool. Well, in general, I'm quite passionate about community-orientated things. If you knew me in high school, shout outs, we went to Victoria Park High School together, and since then I was in Sound Crew, I was in all of the different communities, and since then I've tended to gravitate towards community projects. But yeah, coming from a background also of someone who was passionate about maths, and I was a nerd. I studied computer science and stats, and essentially from that going to branching into my journey as a content creator, a YouTuber in 2016 during the Fees Must Fall protests, and finding a way to express myself through all of that and also make sense of all of it. I found, wow, there's actually a community here as well. Tapped into that community. I had moved to Joburg in 2019 and started a volunteer type thing where we would have these meetups or workshops for content creators and YouTubers specifically at that time. And we had volunteers pop up around the country wanting to do the same thing in their cities. So we extended we just mentored them. I mentored them, trained them to have the same thing. And by the end of the year, we'd worked with some of the most influential content creators in South Africa.
Yeah.
And going into 2019, having been employed by a YouTuber with now over 1 million subscribers, Rob the Ranger, to this point where, I worked as a sales rep in Joburg during 2019, getting the opportunity to go around and do things, but also build the community. Things got hectic. Things got hella serious with all these big names, there's a lot of potential here, and I need to become relevant. So in 2020, I interned at a media production company, an awesome one, Daksu Productions. They actually, the 7D, the Canon 7D Mark II that I have at the moment that I shoot with, they actually blessed us with it. They blessed 10 with it when we left. Like when you leave the company, they give you a little thing to say goodbye.
Pretty good gift.
Right. And that was the camera they started their company with.
Yeah.
So me mentioning that, September last year, we left there. And that was the start of Create ZA Pty Ltd, a company co-founded by myself and Tenibe, Tenolo Tenkeng from Pretoria, also a YouTuber. And from there, we had to make ends meet as young entrepreneurs with this community of content creators and basic production skills, video, photo, and all of that. And that's where we found ourselves. And it's been a crazy year. It's been insane.
Two or three crazy years, dude.
For real. Starting with, obviously this company was born during COVID, during lockdown.
Yeah.
And at the
a
point
lot of good ideas came from that,
for real. Like we starting out with just needing to shoot for food in the beginning. Those humble days, how we're going to pay rent to
get some Maggie there.
Yeah, guys, for real. And here we are, where we're dealing with some actual industry leaders in social media and being recognized as that, as the bigger names. So that's been awesome, exciting. Man. That's been really cool. Yeah. We've got a lot of things going on right now that I can talk about. We're planning our first multi-provincial or national event that'll take place in multiple cities as one event linked to each other, day after day, providing unique content about different aspects of being an entrepreneur, a digital creator. So here in PE, I actually want to do something with the fashion designers. I want to get, say, 3 fashion designers to exhibit 3 of their pieces of work, and then link them also with photographers who want to get portfolio in that, but make it open to anyone who wants to join. There'll be a basic agenda. There'll be a showcase of fashion and content creation, and I'll talk, and we'll have some people talk about that, but that content will be streamed and produced and made accessible to the rest of the country. So when they talk about the other topics in the other cities, it'll all tie in together. That's awesome,
exciting. Can you tell us more about, I've heard about Create ZA.
Yes.
So it's what is its backstory, its recent accomplishments or initiatives? Perhaps what is its plans for the near future? What is Create ZA?
Thank you. As you see, I jumped the gun over there and answered half your question already. But Create ZA for me is a means to...
So that is Create ZA.
Yes.
Those workshops that you're referring to now.
Create
that is all
ZA
part of Create ZA.
workshops. Everything in the community, the brand associated with what we're talking about here is Create ZA.
All under that umbrella.
Yes, indeed. So from the community aspect of things to the meetups, the training, event planners, and working with content creators, that is Create ZA. Born in 2019 in April officially, when we were like, let's call this thing Create ZA. And then we also do media production. So we do photo, we do video, we outsource photo and video to people who want to do productions at other places in the country where we might not be. Unless they want us specifically and are willing to pay for transport, we are able to outsource, and that's one of the cool things about Create ZA, should I say? Yeah.
So you're big on like social media and like the modern era and how we're utilizing these social media platforms for both businesses, as arts, as content creators, etc. The new world is entirely digital. The future of advertising, would you argue, is obviously digital. Right? So as a person who's big on this stuff yourself, this is your passion in your life. Which social media platform would you say you actually use the most, and why? Why that platform?
Yes, I love that question because I can answer it.
I mean, you're on Instagram Live right now,
exactly.
Right? So is that the one?
Instagram is the one. It's the one for me.
Okay.
It's literally during COVID we had to pivot from having live in-person events to how do you keep on doing exactly the same thing where you're providing an artist a platform to play their music or be exposed to an audience, as well as a content creator sharing their journey and talking about how they make it through tough times and how they reach the goals that they set out for themselves and so on. We just did Instagram Lives, and that brought a unique benefit of collaborating with a person in the online space directly, where you're literally sharing. Exactly.
So now, do you think that the algorithm itself is better than such as like Facebook's live algorithm and that platform?
I have a base understanding of how the algorithms work, but as far as creating content easily, for me, Instagram. Visual content, I'm a visual person as well, and directly engaging with audiences the way I feel like, I mean, we handled Canex's socials last week in Durban, which is the biggest gathering of creative entrepreneurs across Africa in a year. And it was a big thing. They paid for a social media team like myself and 3 others who basically we managed their socials, and I managed the Instagram aspect of it. We used Hootsuite to coordinate all the posts, and we also had an influencer managing the Twitter, and we worked really well as a team. But as far as Instagram went, I was able to directly engage and create a relationship with the people who came to the event. If it was the presenters, the panelists, the audiences, like when they tagged us to say...
You're obviously tagging stories.
Stories, guys.
With one another,
that is a great way to recap it.
It brings like more traffic to everyone's pages, because everyone's then resharing the story, which you've tagged the person in, so it's story by story by story.
And as far as portfolio goes, and brands who put a lot of money into an event, for us to document the day, put it all on the feed or separate it by highlights, and put it like, then you can graphically see who tagged us and who like did the most from other accounts. And in terms of what you're looking for, it depends what you're looking for. We're also looking at strategizing the use of Twitter now. For example, we're doing an album launch for Pinky. It's actually going to be on Swordship. You can look it up on Instagram.
Should bring him in here for an interview too.
Guys. I mean, we can line that up. We're literally, I was talking to Sima this morning. Sima Fio, also in the presenter industry. She's lining up some interviews for Pinky, and that's exciting. So, I mean, we can talk, guys, for real. But we are using Twitter as well, because you understand there is an aspect of
Twitter's
trending.
Like text-based. Like, as you were saying earlier, Instagram is very visual, because it has to be visual. That's all it is. Facebook's kind of like a mixed bag, as far as I understand it, because everything goes on there. But Instagram is purely visual, or it should be, and then Twitter is like text. Where you're kind of like a subtweeting, and everything's text based.
And of the moment, like time is also a big aspect in Twitter, and being relevant. And being relevant. So for example, capitalizing on that for a trend release, recognizing that there are a lot of artists and a lot of collaborators involved in this album release, and we also want to get audience members involved. Like, hey, the song is on TikTok, it's on Instagram, you can collaborate with it, but also on Twitter, just to announce it, if people announce something with big names, people with big names with a big following in a short amount of time, that's how trends are generated. And so
interesting.
That is a free piece of advice.
Thank you. Should be paying you for that. You want to just plug your bank details quick there? No, normally I advertise artists as in like musicians and performing artists. And do you feel as though independent artists and musicians can learn a lot and benefit greatly from improving their their social media marketing skills, perhaps by attending your workshops and events? And if so, how will it help them?
Absolutely.
So pivot fortes, my dude.
We're here. Thank you. We're here for you. Basically, I'm talking about fashion. Earlier I was talking about fashion. You're talking about artists over here as well. There are so many segments of the creative community of people who find that they actually need to be the ones to manage their socials. You talk about an artist who wants to go to an agency, and now the agency is providing limited service regarding social media.
And at such a cost. I mean, people can take influence and inspiration from your workshops, right? And learn how to do these skills probably independently themselves.
And even agencies, what we're finding right now is that they're taking on too much, and like say they need to take on 20 clients, and they will, but then they will provide a very limited service. Like they won't actually take the time to engage or respond to people who are commenting on your work, or talk to them, start conversations with them in the DM, the kind of things that audience, fan members really appreciate. But I mean, also being in tune to new releases on a platform, like for example co-posting or co-releasing on Instagram. Exactly. Now if you have some, like I'm not saying that all agencies are like this, but the mentality that they've provided you a content plan months in advance, and what's going to happen is going to happen. Whereas someone who is proactively involved with you and your brand realizes there's a new feature. Reels was just released. Use these things because this is how you're going to get ahead.
I noticed they're kind of bouncing off of each other. A lot of the social media platforms, they're kind of taking features from other platforms and incorporating it into their own platform.
Yes.
Like what happened with when WhatsApp started introducing the statuses, and then everyone was up in arms. It's like they're trying to be Snapchat or something.
It was a big thing.
But the thing is, it makes sense to do so. They notice it's a really cool feature, so they incorporate it into their own platform. I'm not quite sure how much you're allowed to give away for free, as we made the joke earlier as part of the interview. But I am interested in hearing it from you, if you're willing.
Yes.
How would one manage to stay ahead or on top of these new and current trends on social media platforms like the ones we just mentioned?
I would say definitely by being connected to the community of people who are sensing,
actually using the platform.
For real, we are a community. We have creatives. Like if you're in the music scene and you're in PE or you're in Joburg and you want to get gigs, the natural thing is to connect with,
make friends.
Yes, bro, 100%. And so in this online space, we're going out and meeting people. Is either you can do it because it's pumping or it's locked down. One thing that's always there is our WhatsApp groups. We've got WhatsApp groups for YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagrammers. This is where we announce all the things as well, where things start. I just recruited our next set of 15 reps for intercity events, which are free, by the way, free service. You can take advantage of that in I think at least 5 to 6 different provinces of South Africa in the next month or two. So stay tuned for that. That just started right now, and what's free as well is me mentoring them, right?
And their services as well. Right?
This is free.
All of these money things, after this,
guys. This is like the Instagram live, the radio pod, like we all here collaborating. So that is important. This whole thing is
trying to help you.
Exactly. Also them helping me with the time, guys, because I realize we're all busy. We're trying to make ends meet, and things that don't generate money right now are things you need to strongly consider. Like, is this worth it? Are we going somewhere? And essentially, for me, I was in that position like a year or two ago with Create Today. Am I going to do what everyone is saying this needs to happen, but no one really does anything? Am I going to go ahead and plan these events and invest the time, even though I know it'll be free and this is for the community? And seeing where I've gotten, like just looking at how things have been for me, I would encourage other people, like, take something that you believe in and put the effort in, like, and look at it after 3 months, 6 months, look at where it's going, and also
thanks
learn
to the consistency.
You need to learn from your mistakes as well, as much as you learn from your strengths, and go with those things.
Definitely. I'm gonna try and suck as much free advice as I can from you. I'm gonna really, really dig my claws in you. So some of us, including myself, are very chaotic and often disorganized individuals that sometimes even thrive in the chaos. But do you have advice for people that are looking to become maybe more organized and actually improve their management or any creative projects that they may be starting up or maybe struggling to finish? Any words of advice for those people that are trying to become more organized in their approach to their social media management and their campaigns or projects or whatever you wish to call it?
So I believe that you're going to find people fall on one or two sides of the spectrum.
All right.
And that is the people who are willing to try and put it in and put up with all of the cuck, guys. Like, that's it.
We're still online. We don't have the FM license yet. You're allowed to say cuck for now. For now.
Noted. And then on the other hand, you've got people who realistically, it is just too much. Like, and it's not bad to admit that if you just do not get it and it just takes too much time, or you just do not have the time, then you need to get someone to do it. And that's not a bad thing, because you are directly promoting South Africa's economy by finding someone and paying them to do it. And specifically the people in this industry. That is innovative, that is forward thinking, and that honestly, I'm telling businesses now, like I've been managing people's socials and just getting the inquiries that I have through Instagram alone, and then Facebook as well, because, you know, they work together, and what has paid my salary, if I look at that, obviously. But it's possible that you can take your skill set as someone who thinks like this to the market of people who literally cannot. Like I mean, there's always that thing, there's a mindset shift, and maybe you click and you can get, and absolutely I advocate for that. We train people to do this. Even the people who have an inclination, maybe they'll get through the YouTube fundamentals course faster, but it's possible.
Sounds like a pretty hectic course. YouTube fundamentals is like, bro, I can't even grasp the basics. You're talking about you mean there's more? It's like
yeah, man, I
should be attending your workshops more often.
for real.
So this next one's normally one of my favorite questions to ask musical artists, but it can apply to creatives and artists of any sort, really, I'm pretty sure. Where is your favorite place in the world to create content? Can you describe your creative process when doing so? Getting deep here.
Yeah, guys. I guess I've created my workflow with me wherever I go, on my phone, on my laptop.
That's right, you're always on the go, so it's not necessarily a physical place.
It's not, but I mean, it's South Africa. It is South Africa.
You reckon if you went overseas, it wouldn't be quite the same vibe, you know? If you had to do the same in anywhere else?
It's good to ask that. I feel called to South Africa. My purpose and why I've done a lot of all of the things I've done is because I feel that God has a specific calling for me within this country and amongst the people of here. Indeed, it's there. It's there. And so, I mean, I haven't actually left the country, but you know what? That's not what we're talking about here. I'll think about it.
Well, I mean, like, usually with musicians and artists and stuff, they have to be in a specific mindset or in a mood, and to set that mood, you would like make a specific cup of tea or something, you know? Or something like that. What happens in your physical environment? Maybe you're on a train or something. Do you have to be listening to like meditative music where the person's like, everything's gonna be okay?
ASMR for me.
Or are you listening to death metal? Like, what's up?
All of the above.
All of the above.
ASMR, no. For me, I think if I have internet, like if I know there's internet or data, if I have like in a good mental space, you need to be in a good mental space. And so like if I can be around people I love, who I can click with, and like I'm partially extroverted. I think
you're feeding off of the energy of other people. I'm the same. It has to be like a very comfortable, positive kind of environment, and then I'll be very comfortable and positive.
Indeed.
And it will then affect, you know, whatever I choose to create or do. And so you're the same then.
Indeed, yeah. So it can be anywhere actually. It can be in like a 5-star hotel where there's actually no one I'm clicking with, but I mean vibe, guys. Or it can be in like on someone's couch, you know, part of tour.
That's the best spot. We're closing in on about 20 minutes here. I've got one last question for you, my man. What do you think will happen? This is going to be a funny one. What do you think will happen if the internet goes dead for an extended period of time? What happens?
I think a war will break out.
Because we're so reliant upon it. What happens?
I know. I'm waiting. I feel like it is going to happen. And I think people should be prepared for it.
You think so?
100%. Like, I mean, you need to get Telegram as well, by the way.
Telegram,
WhatsApp is going to go down for like a few days maybe. What are we going to do?
Man.
We need to, this is the truth, we need to diversify our dependencies. We can't be all dependent on one thing. So you need to learn to like, also I think the internet might go down, like supply chains might shut down. You need to like, are you going to like plant groceries, guys?
It's entirely reliant upon, like, do we go back to smoke signals as like,
I'm thinking about these things like bat signal, you know?
You know, like most pigeons that like, you know, delivery pigeons. Like, how's it going to work?
I don't know how we're going to do it.
That would be
but
Twitter, you
realistically, I see that a lot of people who have built their income off of things like this are going to be stressed. Even when WhatsApp shut down for 4 hours, I saw content creators saying,
"Hey, chaos.
I was fired for 4 hours." You know, basically, like you didn't and you're getting paid to do something which you cannot literally do. So it does make things interesting, and I mean, I think that's why you shouldn't only be an influencer who like your only income is, you know, being beautiful and
online.
Because work that, you know, like get a beauty range, do fashion, like get a business model that won't 100% depend on this thing. Because you know what, by the time you've built your business model and established your clientele and you know who they are, if they're in your vicinity, you can walk to their house. If you have their number, or even, you know, I don't know, whatever system we'll use, CAN systems, you know, to get hold of our clients
with a string.
But I mean, social media is there. Build your system, build your thing. Don't depend on it solely though.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A musician, a YouTuber that I actually watch, Finn McKenty, I think his name is, spoke about that, and he basically said we shouldn't, as musicians and artists, be reliant entirely on, for instance, just Spotify or just YouTube or just SoundCloud. You need to have a community on each platform, on every single one, so that, you know, if one explodes, you have the other one.
True.
You know, but if the whole internet goes down, there's going to be, probably
it's gonna be
pure carnage. So,
guys,
you know, Sheldon, I'll see you in the civil war when the internet explodes, and
right, you know,
I'm on your team.
So next week, no, I don't know.
Vivite Fortes, bro.
Let's do it, 100%.
Sheldon, my man, it was amazing chatting to you and catching up today. Where can people follow you and all your shenanigans on the various platforms?
So you can find me at Sheldon Zam. That's ZAM. And also through my bio on Instagram, you'll see Create ZA. That's one word, because we're going to create ZA. Yeah, it's true. We are doing it. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Would you like to also quickly remind us of any upcoming events to keep an eye out for? Do a quick plug.
Cool. So if you're in Johannesburg, we've got a very big, exciting event called the Creator Games, inspired by Squid Game. We're going to have different stations, people grouped up together, learning skills of working together in team dynamics, briefed with content creation in a way that industry is looking for, so that you understand what it's like to work for corporate, because there is money within this thing. Corporate companies are looking for content creators, so that's happening. It's 150 Rand a ticket through Quicket, link in our bio. And also we're having, I think in the next month or 2 months, we're literally having meetings right now confirming the dates, but there's going to be a bunch of free events around the country soon.
That's all on social media. People can check it out. Awesome, man. Have a good one, my man. We'll definitely be keeping an eye out for you in future.
Thank you, sir.
You are listening to the Rebels of the Bay Show with your host from the coast, Roscoe Nefdt, here on MMR. Do stick around and stay tuned.
Worldwide, online. This is Man-Made Radio. Online.